gainy.
It's great. Yeah, exactly. So different guitars, different day. We've got
Different eras.
PRSs. So now, James, you're going to know far more about PRS than I am. It's not really a guitar that I specialise. I do deal with PRSs. We've got a few PRSs around us. We always do keep a few in stock here at Taverners Guitars, but really, it's a bit of a funny one for me. I struggle to get emotionally attached to PRS. I'm not a Fender guy, but I can get Fender guys in and go, well, I like that one. And I can get Gibsons in and I can really, I can do some damage with those. But when it comes to PRSs, I struggle to just gel and bond and feel what's going on with them. But do not get me wrong, I cannot fault any of them I've had through. In regards to build quality, yeah, some of them might need a little bit of fettling and tweaking just to get the most out of them, as some guitars do, but build quality and actual bang for buck, it's there. They're so there with what you get for the money. So
I love Paul Reed Smith guitars. I love them.
Yeah,
and I think it's a combination of the two scale lengths of Fenders and Gibsons. I love all the brands, but PRS, I think it's just because of that quality.
Yeah.
Out of the box, it's just absolutely, they're mint. Really, they're really good. So I mean, we'll talk about these. We're doing SEs right now because I think they're good value.
Yeah.
These are hollow guitars as well. Hollow guitars are quite hard to make, I assume. Looking at
there's a lot more that goes into it. You know, there's a lot more that goes into routing it out, and then obviously putting a top on it and things like that. The beautiful thing with the hollow bodies are they don't break your back. Both really of these guitars, I could have this around my neck for 3 hours in the night time and feel absolutely fine. Whereas 3 hours with the Les Paul, 3 hours with even some of the Fender stuff, and I'm going to start to feel that. And if I've got a 70s Les Paul custom around my neck, I'm probably going to go home in a wheelchair. So it's the nature of the beast.
Really heavy.
Really heavy. So yeah, they're just brilliant. Bang for buck, they're fantastic. They have some cool features on it. Yours is.
So this is more recent. Yeah, these were actually made in China as well. They're all made by a company called. These were made by a company called PT Court, and PT Court was a partnership with Paul Reed Smith. So they design the stuff in Maryland and prototype it, and then they've got a guy in charge over at PT Court who works really closely with Paul. They call each other all the time with the developments, and this is most of the PT Court stuff's Indonesian, made out in Indonesia, like the Silver Skies and all of those kind of things that people are buying at the moment.
Yeah.
This one was made in China, so they have a subcontracted one out there. Probably because of the tooling and the amount of time you have to spend on developing something hollow.
We see a lot of this. There's various models in the world of Fender actually, which they don't make in Mexico, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're a lesser model. There's some. So you heard of the Jim Atkins Telecaster, which has got two P90s in it. They're made in Indonesia, and they have a Fender logo on, but they're a set neck. They're a set neck guitar, and obviously it's.
Takes more time, probably.
Yeah, it's probably the machine that builds it might not be in the Mexican plant, so they build it over there. And similar with these, it'll be they move them around depending on where it's got the machinery to do it.
What's cool about this one is it's got bird inlays, and they're like the original bird inlays that came out on the core models up until a certain time. I think it was where they changed the design of the birds on the core models.
Right, yeah.
It's got. The pickups are really cool. They're modelled after the 58 pickups that they have. I think they're called 58s.
Gibson?
No, the PRS have like something 58 as well. I'll put it up on the screen. And it's very much similar to what they put in the McCarty core models. It's kind of what it's designed after. And again, the pickup selection and all the electronics are really tidy. You can't see them in the holes, which is like something that you'd probably get on.
Yeah,
they
don't rattle, because that's something with hollow bodies you can get if there's wires hanging in there and they rattle around. This doesn't happen. The thing that I like with PRS, I do like this, is I love the fact they've adapted and worked with a wrap-round bridge.
Yeah.
So they just wrap-round bridges on various guitars are simple, easy, just. Yeah, I mean, stringers in there, comes around there, goes up there, gets tightened up, and you're away.
Really resonant design as
well.
Really
resonant, yeah.
Is it the Tune-o-matic bridge came because you could adjust the tension.
You can adjust the intonation.
And the intonation, which you can't quite... You can go backwards and forwards for the whole thing, but you couldn't get an accurate intonation on an individual string.
2 little grub screws just down at the base of the bridge here and here, which is where you can bring your bridge back and forwards. Now, you're never going to get absolute spot-on perfect intonation with one of these unless it's left the factory absolutely perfectly.
What they've done with this is they've put individual bits on.
Right. So, so what I've got here is an older one. This is a Korean Hollowbody SE. Custom, I believe. Yeah, it is a custom.
But that is the same design as on the McCarty behind me as well. So I've got a McCarty there, and it's the same design. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. So this design is very simple. Slab of metal, 2 grub screws at either end to tilt it back and forth so you can get your intonation there, and away you go.
Now with the McCarty, because I'm a geek, when I was studying my masters, I did a test on that guitar. I tested all the guitars that I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
Luckily I didn't, you weren't doing this then, so I wouldn't have, otherwise it would have took a very long time.
Yeah.
But I used an acousmograph to look at the spectral properties of every single note that could be played on the guitars, and I found that on the PRS they were the most accurate.
Wow.
Which was crazy because it was a fixed bridge.
Yeah.
And it was set up with 10s. So I did a Q&A with Paul Reed Smith. I'd met him. He goes around to events all the time, and he signed my guitar. And I asked him a question about keeping the intonation, and he just answered in the most simplest way. He just said, well, yes, that's great that you've done that and tested that, but it's just Ted McCarty's design from the 50s leading into the 60s, and he got it right then.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was his answer. He was like, so it's the same
thing. Yeah, if it works and it stays there, I mean, there's not really a hell of a lot can happen. Your guitar's not going to shrink massively. It's not going to do anything. If it's right when it leaves the factory, then you should be right forever within reason. So
let's test some tones then. So we've got a clean tone on this one. Very hollow body, isn't it? It's got that. In the middle. Quite a vintage kind of sound to me, that kind of old soul records. There's nothing harsh going on with the tone. I think that's why I like Paul Reed Smith. It's very hard to get a harsh tone. They always have that kind of groundedness. Should we have a look at the other one? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see
you
how
haven't
they
played
compare.
this one yet. That sounds fabulous though. That sounds really nice.
Yeah. Let us know how you feel about the way that plays.
It's the same as this because I haven't played. I have had 3 of these through the shop, but I've never actually. I think this has been the longest I've played one for you.
This is really light.
Yes, it is. It's actually lighter than this. This is much louder than that, resonantly.
Yeah, that whole thing's shaking, isn't it?
You can feel the vibration.
It's quite satisfying as a guitar to relax with and just play, playing and saving. Oh yeah. Oh, I like this. It's tighter feeling.
Yes.
It's very resonant, but it's just tighter. Go on, Harry, you have a go on that.
I'll see what I think. So we'll get a bit more of a clean.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's alright.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's
Great.
It's quite alright actually. I'm quite surprised with that. I obviously I deal with guitars. It's what I do every day of my life. But I don't know, when you actually sit down and play them, which madly I don't get a lot of time to do. It's cool. It's really quite a cool piece of kit.
You were having some emotions with that, aren't
Yeah,
you?
it was good. It was nice. It was quite cool.
Instantly.
Yeah, it's a bit of alright.
Making that sound good.
Yeah, it's a bit of alright. This. I think I prefer that to that.
Yeah.
I think that feels. It's a daintier feeling guitar.
It's dainty.
Smaller.
It's really nice. That I love the neck on it. It's got the same kind of wide neck thing.
This is a bit of a chubbier neck. More in the centre bit of you.
Rings alright.
These are both. This is a second-hand guitar. I'm not too sure of value. I'm probably going to say they're both going to be around the 500 quid mark as second-hand guitars.
Yeah.
New price. Not too sure on what that was. What are these new at the minute?
Well, I got it for $599.
So this was when Andertons were probably having the blowout sale. You get from
it
Andertons?
was Black Friday, Andertons blowout sale.
So these are, I'm guessing these are up at about 8, 9 in that region.
They were 1200 RRP.
Yeah.
But you're going to get it for 9.
See, PRS do this, and it's great from a new buyer perspective, but it's
annoying,
painful as a second-hand guitar dealer, which we've got here, when they do some unbelievable deals on new PRS. You see some of the offers, especially the big chains of Andertons and GAC and various other places, and some of the prices that they throw these. This as a new guitar for what, 600 quid is what you pay for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just mental. I mean,
I'd pay 1,500 quid for that, and I'd be happy with that.
I think you'd have got a guitar that feels. It's definitely north of £1,000 feeling guitar. The build quality, the woods, the neck, the actual solidness, the fact that when it comes to electrics as well. So we're on quite a gain. This is me all the way up. And it doesn't lose any of its top end.
Yeah. Until very recently, that was my favourite guitar.
Yeah, it's the pots are nicely weighted. The switch is great. It's just a good feeling guitar. I can't knock it, but obviously if you have got a few more squillions in your back pocket, then you can work your way all the way up to the other two guitars. And you're going to grab the one behind you, and I'm going to grab the one that's just over here.
Oh yes.
We're going to end up in quite some hefty money now. And again, the guitar that you've got is one of your own guitars.
Yes.
So you can talk from personal feels and stuff with it.
I'm quite emotionally attached to this guitar. So I got this guitar in 2007, 2008,
Okay.
and I've been touring quite a lot. It was actually most of pretty much all my income was from that.
Right.
And I was going around, Europe touring, and I had a Les Paul Classic at the time that I'd had for about 2 years.
Right.
And I was just about to come up to my dissertation for uni, and I had to play loads of mad stuff. And I was, for some reason, and I don't know why, I was really working on it with the Les Paul. Saw this on the wall at grab height, which was quite rare for a core series at the time. It BMT down in Birmingham.
Someone's getting sacked.
And I grabbed it, and they let me test it out without having to go and ask and get the key and get the golden key and get all that.
Take it out the glass tank.
Out the glass tank. And it was a second-hand guitar at the time as well. I think they were like $3,000 new, that kind of thing when these came out. And I had already been put off by PRS, so I tried some. I always wanted the custom 24 and the 22. And I tried some, and I was really disappointed with the neck. For some reason, I couldn't get on with it.
Okay, yeah.
This had a totally different kind of feeling neck.
Right.
And suddenly I could play all the things I've been practicing and trying to play, so I parted ways with a Les Paul, which I kind of regret in some ways, because that guitar now would be worth a lot more. And, and it was a really good guitar.
See, this is something with these, which is quite strange, with the actual second-hand prices of them. The guitar in my hand has got the receipt in its case, and it is for sale here. And it was brand new, it was £2,504, and it was made in 2003.
Right.
Now, if you had a Gibson, for instance, or probably even a high-end Fender that you paid £2,500 for in 2003, would be worth more. Yeah,
it would be worth a lot more.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, just to put this into comparison, I'm going to use Gibson Les Paul standards, which is what's behind me, just we're here, as a comparison. Those new in 2003 were £1,200, brand new. Nice top ones might have been 13. If you walked in on the right day and they wanted to get out of it, they might have sold you one at 1,100. Now, they're 2,500.
Right.
They've done what these have kind of done the reverse of. Weirdly enough, at PRS at the minute, this sort of stuff here isn't really fetching the premium, sadly. But it's not to devalue the guitar, because it's absolutely brilliant. The only thing I really don't like on this, and I'm going to be critical of it,
that switch.
What's this?
The problem with that is when you're doing a gig,
what are you going to do?
You need to just go to the one that you need. You're not going to know where you're sat at until you play it.
See what you're going to do here. So let's just say you've got to get a nice, so that's. Let's go all the way this way. This was a ridge pickup. Middle pickup. No, that's a coil tap.
Yeah, that's a coil tap.
That's a coil tap. That sounds like an in the middle.
Position 4 Strat quacky sound.
Yeah, so coil tap on both. Neck, but no coil tap on it. For a gig, what we're going to end up having to do there is going, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're having a great evening, but can you just wait while I find my neck position with the coil tap? This is just a daft design. It's great for a studio guy who's going to get a real design, going to get in the moment. But if you want bang, you've got to get a lead.
You want this, don't you?
You want one of those. Like one of them. Yeah, one of them. A little thing that comes in and out.
You just want to do that and go suddenly. Anyway, so that's why in many ways I gravitated towards the McCarty. So the McCarty was Paul's, everything about this is lovely. Even the pickup surrounds, it's kind of like, the colour, it's kind of like gravy and, butterscotch and caramel and all the things that you like.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's a good looking guitar. Nice. It's a very good looking guitar.
And it is, there's quite a lot of top going on. These are a lot thicker than the other models.
Yeah.
So comparatively, because again at the time,
that is thicker. Actually,
that was going to be this was almost like his go at doing a Gibson-y kind of thing. You can tell by the pickup, the tuners as well. They're like what you'll find on a Les Paul.
A Clouson design.
Clousons.
So we've got 50s.
And the sound, I wouldn't say it sounds like a Les Paul in the same sense, but it's very. It's quite Telecaster-y though. That
is one thing. Coil tap guitars, I don't think Gibson and even Fenders, when they do the coil tap thing, kind of do it right. But when I've played a PRS that's got a coil tap,
it's great.
It is actually really good, and so really good.
This is the kind of, imagine your strap. But it will do the game. I want to hear your setup with this, but I'm interested to see what you think of that neck.
Well, first off, that's really heavy.
It's very heavy compared to it.
It's not really heavy, no. It's just heavier than the guitar. Bear in mind, I've just played a Hollowbody PRS, 2 Hollowbody PRSs, and that one, which is thin. This has got certainly some more.
It is a heavier guitar. It'd be good to weigh it actually, because I think that's heavier than my Les Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've got an 07 Les Paul, so it's chambered.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start off with a bit of clean-ish. Coil tap there. Yes, that's a great coil tap.
Isn't it? It's thick still.
Chunky. I'm quite impressed with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that feels like every other PRS I've had through here.
Yeah, this has got that. It's very easy to play.
Yeah, but it's too perfect.
Yeah, I don't get the vibe off this.
This has got a V-neck. So it's got like a Fender V-neck, which is nice. So you got this middle bit in the V. If you haven't had a V-neck and you haven't feel one, you'll know exactly what I mean. But it's got that V-neck thing to it, which some people love, some people hate. But it tapers off up here. It becomes more rounded up the 12th fret area. Very V at the first fret, and then rounded there, which is nice. But that's just a pencil all the way up.
Yeah. Literally from there.
Which is great if you're speed. But if you want to feel it.
Yeah. Is this a flat one boat?
No. Hopefully that's something you understand. I've got no problems in saying and whatever that some guitars are just better than others. But then again, you can walk in here, you personally out there could walk in here and pick that guitar up and go, how have I survived this long on earth without this guitar in my life?
Yeah, and someone will.
Yeah, they will.
Do that
Absolutely.
With this because it is, again, like you say, it's perfection, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's absolute perfection.
It is.
But it's kind of like some of my favourite people in the world aren't perfect.
No, there is that.
There
is that. Yeah,
people in my life who are my favourite people aren't perfect.
No.
And it's kind of like that with these instruments,
Well, it's absolutely. I play Les Pauls, and if I was comparing it to this, Les Pauls are flawed in so many ways. You want to get past the 15th fret, well, dislocate your thumb and stick it somewhere else because it's not going to happen on a Les Paul. With this, you can get right up there with it. Les Paul, they're heavy, they're chunky. There's various things with them, control-wise, tones all the way down there.
You could compare these two as well in the same way. So this has got locking machine heads. It's got a whammy bar.
Yeah.
This has got this funky thing here. I don't know whether you'd say that's better or not, but it's allegedly that was on the more expensive models. This has got the birds.
It's got birds. If you were going into a studio to do some recording and you wanted to dial in a tone, that's obviously got more about it to do that with. This is just on the fly, bang, it's there, and it's a switch. It's easy. But
to me, that's a better guitar for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
PRSs.
The for me, the less perfect it is, the better.
Yeah.
And it's probably challenged some of your thoughts as well.
Yeah.
What about that 60s Les Paul? Can I just try and have a feel?
Well,
you
know how this feels. You've just felt that.
Yeah.
Feel this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So immediately you're into backache territory.
As soon as I get it, I'm playing it different.
Yeah, I picked that up a minute ago, and I was like, oh, I've just got the guitar I know what to do with, and immediately it just, it's great.
It's got that scale length though, hasn't it? And that just everything. I do find these easier to play. And you can play anything for them. With a Les Paul, doing every kind of sound you need that you can, just because you can do this.
Yeah.
And then in there, just within that, you can, if you want like to me, that's kind of like a honky kind of Strat kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's your middle. That's your neck pickup on a Strat. If you go. Just really quickly, just with that,
do it.
You've got every kind of tone, I think, anyway. But so they're very different things. It's interesting because these aren't that dissimilar in weight between the McCarty and this.
I think that's close. That even though these two, the red PRS that James played a minute ago, and the McCarty is closer to a Les Paul than what that one is.
Yeah.
Even though visually they look like the same guitar, all right, different colours. But stand back and you look at them and go, the same guitar. That feels more like a Fender product. That feels more like a Gibson product. The McCarty that I was playing feels far closer to what's in your hands than what the other one does with the switchery-divery on it.
Do you know what would help? What would make the McCarty better for me? Do you know what it would be? Lacquer.
Right, okay.
If that had a nitro vanilla smell, and it checked as it got older.
Well, this has got. I mean, this is your own guitar, and it's got a few lumps and bumps in it. But that's what comes from playing a guitar live and gigging it and stuff. So if you're going to play a guitar, expect it to get some marks on it. If it had that nitro finish on it, that would have checked up, along with those little dents and stuff on it, and just look the biz.
It'd be great.
It would look brilliant. But I mean, it's a handsome beast.
Great. Don't forget to like and subscribe.